What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the land of reckless logic. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please smash the notification bell so do not miss any more posts from us. So with that being said, let's get straight into this video because we have a lot to say today, okay? Alrighty, y'all. So with that being said, let's get straight into this video. You guys already know what we're here to talk about today. As you guys already see, I already have a special guest. My name is Reckless Logic, but however, let's introduce my special guest. Come on, Conscious.
Conscious TV, girl. Your intro is so goddamn dramatic. All the goddamn thunder and shit, girl. It's just so dramatic.
Yeah.
I like it because it's dramatic. It's short. It's straight to the point. Like it's actually perfect. It's way more than a goddamn song and dance I got going on in my intro, girl. I got a whole R&B track going.
Bitch, your intro like 9 years long. I was like, this bitch.
I can't wait to Ghetto 5 because I'm looking for a new intro and I want it to be so hood and ghetto and ratchet and obnoxious and offensive, honey. I got some plans for my intro.
Girl, you might as well. It's gonna be so hood, it makes no damn sense. Alrighty, so with all of that being said, let the people know where they can find you, see you.
Of course, you guys can find me right here on YouTube at Conscious TV. It is spelled the same way that you see it in the screen, and you can also find me over on Instagram at Conscious TV as well. Come on over and check me out and see what we got going on, honey. It's a world of wonderment,
chaos. So with that being said, y'all make sure y'all go over to Conscious tired asshole next to me, Conscious TV. 9 times out of 10, people are probably cussing each other out over there. So you guys will be nicely entertained. Okay. So with that being said, you guys already know why we're here. First thing we're gonna start off with Emmett Till. We're gonna start off with that bad boy there. Well, here we go. Let's get into it. Alrighty, let me see. Okay, put up this article. Girl, you already know how this is, bitch. I'm gonna start reading, bitch. Like the last line, bitch. I was over there reading like girl, like it was nothing else. All right, so let me get into this bad boy. Then we get to go. All right, so Emmett Till's family find unserved arrest warrant. So it says Emmett Till's family wants Carolyn Bryant Doham. I'm gonna call him Doham. Now 88, prosecuted for the 1955 lynching that sparked the civil rights movement. Girl, this heifer here. And that's what that heifer look like right there. Okay, we'll continue to use website. Good. Oh yeah, I'm gonna agree. Just I want to make sure everybody get a good look. So as you see this Emmett Till's picture in the background. All right, so it says dead or alive, Emmett Till was lynched after Carolyn Bryant Dunham falsely claimed he wolf whistled at her. All righty. Let's get straight to this article. It says the family of Emmett Till have found an unserved warrant for the woman accused of being responsible for his lynching. Relatives of the murdered 14-year-old black boy say that they found an unserved warrant for Caroline Bryant Doham. I'm gonna call her Miss D because girl, Doham, a white woman who accused the boy of whistling at her. The discovery was made last week by members of Till's family at the county courthouse in Greenwood, Mississippi. And I quote, we cried, we hugged. Deborah Watts, Emmett's cousin, told CNN. Unbelievable, we held each other. Justice has to be served. The warrant is dated August 29, 1955. It charged J.W. Millam, Roy Bryant, and Bryant's then wife, Mrs. Roy Bryant, with kidnapping. Miss Bryant Doham claimed the 14-year-old boy grabbed her and made sexual advances as she was working in the store. Yeah, this gone. Okay, so we got the next section, murder charges. Miss Bryant Doham's husband at the time, Bryant, and his half-brother Millam, I'm gonna call him Millam, who were both white, were charged with Till's murder. Both men were later acquitted by an all-white jury, and both men have since died. But Bryant Doham is one of the last living witnesses of the brutal lynching. The warrant, which ordered their arrest, was found in a dusty box by members of Till's family, including Miss Watts. Ooh. Till was abducted, tortured, and shot in the head in 1955. His body was then thrown into a
Tallahatchie.
that's just fucked up. Yeah, Tallahatchie River and discovered 3 days later.
Oh, I thought you was hooked on violence.
You know, I get kind of when I start seeing stories like this. So it says fight for justice. In March, Miss Watts, who is a co-founder of the Emmett Till Legacy Foundation, said the organization had collected more than 250,000 signatures demanding murder charges against Miss Bryant Doham, who is still alive. Man, fuck that hoe. And I quote, "We will bear witnesses to the hatred that has been embedded in our DNA since the slave ships arrived," Miss Watts said on Friday, according to the whatever the hell that shit is. All right, so I quote, "We made a promise to his mother that we would persist and that they were here today. The investigation into the case had department following the publication of a book, The Blood of Emmett Till, by Timothy B. Tyson in 2017. Girl, I keep losing my spot. In the book, Mr. Tyson claimed that Miss Bryant Doham told him in a 2008 interview that parts of her testimony were not true. But during the federal investigation, Miss Bryant Doham denied that she ever lied in her testimony. Girl. Mr. Tyson said he didn't record Miss Bryant Doham when she made the confession, and he insists he made detailed notes and stands by his reporting. In December, the Justice Department ended their investigation into the case and said they did not have enough evidence to pursue it further. Here we go. We got the lynching bill. In March this year, U.S. President Joe Biden has signed the first ever federal legislation making lynching a hate crime. Girl, they should have been did that, but I guess. The historic bill is named after Till. The Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act was signed into law on March 29, 2022. Girl, that is a bit much. With members of Till's family present, according to Tuskegee University, which collects records of lynchings, 4,743 people were lynched between 1882 and 1968, and 3,446 of them being Black. This legislation was first considered 120 years ago and have failed to be passed into law almost 200 times. Jesus. Till's mother, Mammy Till Mobley, had an open casket funeral showing her son's mutilated body. The distressing images sent shockwaves. Oh yeah, I think I've seen that around the world and were published in Black media outlets Jet and the Chicago Defender. Girl, here we go. What are your thoughts?
I hope they find that hoe and put her ass in a 97-year-old electric chair.
You know, the thing is, I'm not gonna lie. I think this is something called the Mandela effect. Do you know what that is?
Of course.
Okay, so I want to make sure I'm using the right.
Feel like something has already happened that hasn't actually, in fact, happened yet.
Okay, there we go. I could have sworn they said that this lady had passed away. I could have sworn.
Oh no. You are correct. That was a
witness protection.
No, it wasn't a witness protection. That was a rumor that was out there for a while. It was a few different narratives that were running that she was dead already, that she was on hospice or living in an elderly facility. All these things turned out to not be true. She's living her best life, I believe, somewhere in Mississippi.
This is crazy. Okay, so here's the crazy thing to me. They need to get that hoe. Get her, put her to the nearest electric chair. Get her, throw her in the worst jails, and plus on top of that, post her pictures. Make sure that her name's out there, and make sure all of her roommates and her cellmates are Black people, pro-Black motherfuckers. So lock her ass up to all the Muslims, lock her ass up there with all the African Americans, lock her ass up with all the people that's just gonna beat her ass or do elsewhere or else. So I don't know, like stuff like that really bothers me because it's a simple fact of we have cases like this where they still haven't had no justice. They still haven't found out who did what and actually made them pay for what they actually have
They know
done.
who did what. The guys who did it have unfortunately passed away, but they admitted to the crime. They were acquitted of the crime. They testified to kidnapping him. They spoke in interviews about what they did and how they wanted to make an example out of Emmett Till, because at that time there was a lot of Black people migrating into the area, and they didn't appreciate the community becoming gentrified by Black folks. So they wanted to make an example out of Emmett Till and scare the hell out of the becoming Black population.
Yeah, so I already knew they had
Did you hear the
passed.
interview? Did you hear the interview that his mom did, where she
Oh
described?
no.
So the mom of Emmett Till, you know, she chose to have an open casket funeral for him because she wanted people to see the nefarious evil that resides in mayonnaise folk. And when she had to identify her son's body, she spoke about how, now, trigger warning, graphic descriptions coming ahead. She spoke about how she used to take pride in his teeth, like, cause you know she took very good care of his teeth. They were her pride and joy. And she said that when she opened his mouth, that there were only two there. She then said that she noticed that his ear had been sawed off, and you could actually see the other side of his head through where there was a ear that you could see light on the other side, from one side out of the other. She said it also looked like the top of his nose had been chopped off as well. And obviously he had also been shot in the head, and he had also been beat beyond recognition. So
okay, so here's the thing.
And there was a Black man who had overheard the tormentive screaming of Emmett Till in the barn. And after they got finished doing whatever they did to Emmett Till, those white men had approached that Black man and asked him, what did he hear and see here today? And he said he didn't hear and see anything. And they told him to keep it that way, and paraphrasing, or else, you know, he would share the same fate. So, but that same man ended up testifying, and then fleeing the community as well for safety purposes, obviously. So, yeah.
You know, the craziest thing to me is that I don't know why this just came to my head, but it's craziest thing to me is that whenever I hear these type of stories, and then when I hear pick me as melanated people that come up talking about racism not a thing, and you got a Candace Owens that's saying stuff like racism it's not active today. Racism was so much in the past and all these things, and like I don't know, like when stories like this like happen, it really I'm just gonna be the one to say it. I start to have like a hatred for white people. And I know that's probably the wrong terminology to say hatred, but it's like I guess like when I first first coming in, when I first had I was in this like the space of very vague information and I wasn't as woke-ish. I was like, okay, we all world peace. But now it's like, yeah, I'm kind of on the stance of give they ass hell. because I do feel like a lot of times we're very much passive. So that's why I want her ass to get electric chair. Give her the same fate that she allowed from a lie that she allowed Emmett Till to experience. Is his mother still alive today?
No, she passed away a few years ago.
Okay. But yeah, that's crazy. So how do you feel about the whole anti-lynching law exactly? Because it's been passed around 200 times, girl. Let me see.
What's the anti-lynching law again?
Okay, since the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act was signed into law on March 29, 2022, with members of Till's family present. According to Tuskegee, oh, girl, I always tongue-tied this shit. According to Tuskegee University, which collects records of lynchings, 4,743 people were lynched between 1882 and 1968, and 3,446 of them being melanated Black people. The legislation was first considered 120 years ago and had failed to be passed into law almost 200 times.
Okay, so what is it?
I'm assuming that it's being considered a hate crime if you lynch. It says in March this year, U.S. President Joe Biden has signed the first ever federal legislation making lynching a hate crime. So I guess it's really classifying it as a hate. This is why I hate people so much. Like, I'm not understanding like why lynching is a hate crime within itself. Like,
because of his historical ties to racism. It was one of the capital punishments that white supremacists used, the Ku Klux Klan used against melanated folks. So now if they find melanated people who have been hung, who have been lynched, etc., that they are going to classify that as hate crime. Kind of like how anti-queer or hate crimes against queer people is founded upon terminology used, the F word, etc., you know, misgendering, etc.
So I think it's very interesting because now that I think about it, I think it's very interesting is how people like to say racism is not a thing and it's not really active in the communities and culture now today. But it took 120 years for this act to be passed into law, and it was 200 times. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Yes. Okay, so yeah, it was the legislation was first considered 120 years ago and had failed to be passed into law almost 200 times. So I'm gonna keep that particular little fun fact. I'm gonna keep that in my pocket the next time some melanated people bring their ass on goddamn panels and they say stuff like racism is not active today. Da 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 da. Girl, that's the first thing I say.
Where are people still saying that at? I can't even recall the last time that. I mean, aside from Candace Owens, I can't even recall the last time anybody acted like racism.
Girl, if you want to be honest, when you was on your panel, sometime in the past, some Black men had said that. That's why I was like, yeah. And then you had checked them. You was like, y'all are really sitting up here acting like y'all not aware of all the evil that's really living within mayonnaise people. So yeah, I've actually and plus I've actually seen people that I've talked to in real life say the exact same thing. So yeah, I will be keeping that fact in my back pocket. Do you have any more thoughts on this exactly? Because girl, if not, I'm probably going.
No, I'm glad that they found an arrest warrant, and now it's going to be up to the state of Mississippi to actually follow through with it. Yeah, they have to decide. They are the ones who have to activate it, and they're still speculating where she is, even where they believe she is. It's just speculation. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I do believe that, regardless of how old she is, she needs to be She needs to be behind bars. This was a total crime, a loss of life. And this young boy was kidnapped and ripped literally from his household. Like, mayonnaise people went into his parents' household, took him in front of his parents, took him in front of his father, in front of his mother, and they found him, a week or two later in that swamp. Like, so this woman, yeah, she deserves to be serving hardcore time. She deserves to spend the rest of her days in
her
the
ass beat
country with a bunch of big butch lesbians who ready for the chewings. I'm here for it.
Girl, I hope they beat her ass. Like, I'm kind of just over this whole thing of trying to be peaceful. I hope they beat her ass, and then on the gates of heaven, before she gets her judgment, Emmett Till and his mama tear her ass up, and just send that bitch off to the gates of hell. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, girl, I'm just anyway. Next story we're gonna get into, because
let me just before we move right along, I just think it's like so literally psychotic and maniacal that mayonnaise folk could just wake up and decide to just find out what it feels like to dispose of a black person. Like, I'm just gonna wake up today and just gonna go out into public and I'm gonna weaponize the system against an innocent black person just because I just feel like being a narcissistic, maniacal, mayonnaise white bitch. Like, and did it. And didn't lose no sleep about it.
And that's another reason why, I know this has nothing to do with it, but it does at the same time. And that's another reason why they don't want racism taught in schools. The critical race theory. And someone has said, I forgot, girl, I was watching a whole bunch of panels doing that shit. But someone has said that it was like, one of the reasons why they don't want that to happen, I think it was TikTok. They said one of the reasons why they don't want those courses or anything to get exposed or really shed light on what really was going on is because you're going to start to see your grandmothers, your grandfathers, white people, grandmothers, grandfathers, cousins, great-great-great-grandfather, and it's going to be a hard reality for Caucasian people.
So be it. It's a hard reality for black and brown people.
Girl.
So be it. Are we going to care more about the fragile egos of mayonnaise folk when we have to live with what has been done to our ancestors and are having to still live with what's literally being done physically to our tribe members, to ourselves under the systems who are still experiencing colorism, discrimination in various ways, systemic oppression in various ways? So who gives a damn about how mayonnaise folk are going to feel about mayonnaise folk once the Band-Aid is ripped back on their history? I don't give a damn about their feelings. Black people have literally been annihilated under the system. And we're concerned about mayonnaise folk feelings being hurt and mayonnaise folk being angry at their forefathers. Like, they need to be upset. Maybe that's a fire they need up underneath their ass to help be an ally to tearing down the system that's in place for them. Maybe they need a brutal wake up.
Because the craziest thing too is that, like, when it comes down to it, one of the things that's very interesting when it gets down to white people and the racism is when they start talking about, especially when it comes to this Confederate flag, they're like, "This is my culture." What culture? What culture? And then when people talk about the culture of the Confederate flag, what does it represent? It represents my culture because of taxes. Okay, taxed on what? Like, it doesn't make sense. I think for me, it's the denial. That's what really gets up under my skin. The denial, and also the gaslighting. This is my culture. What is your culture, baby? Taxes. What were they taxing? Cotton. Who was picking the cotton, baby? Girl, I just can't. Fuck them hoes. Fuck them hoes. Anyway, so we're gonna go to the next because girl, if not, I'm probably gonna have a little aneurysm and I do not have the time. But I will be following up with this story. Hopefully they lock that hoe, the flying fuck up. And like you said, over there was some butch lesbians over there chewing on her goddamn fucking salami. All right, so we're gonna talk about Miss Nicki Minaj. Miss Nicki Minaj over here is doing what she always do. Nicki Minaj similarly calls Kanye West a clown cuts monster from festival set. Here we go. So Nicki Minaj stopped her set in New Orleans on Friday to similarly throw shade at Kanye West. During her headlining performance at the Essence Festival of Culture, the rapper 39 told her DJ to pull the plug on Monster, a song she worked with West 45 in 2010. I'm monstered, and I quote, I'm monstered out, and we don't with clowns, she explains to the crowd, before changing the subject and saying she wanted to give a shout out to New Orleans. Interestingly enough, the apparent dig came on the same day Cardi B released her new song Hot Shit, which features West. As many of her beloved barbs know, Minaj has publicly feuded with Cardi B 29 in the past. Though it's unclear exactly why Minaj chose to simply throw shade at Ye during her set, some fans speculate that the two had a falling out. They believe tension built amid drama surrounding Ye's good eccentric album, God eccentric album, good, I'm tired, and the canceled release of their song New Body. The two rappers were originally expected to release the song on the canceled album Yachty, girl, which was scrapped and replaced with West's album Jesus is King. Oh, so it says, okay, we have a tweet. Nicki Minaj cut Kanye's part of Monster and said it's because she doesn't fuck with clowns. This is after he did a song with Cardi B. Girl, let me do this because I already see how this is gonna be. Let me just put this bad boy up because bitch, I can already feel it. Let me do this. Baby girl, what's your name? What's with this stuff going on today, girl? Let me do this. Damn, you got that song stuck in my head now. All right, so let me read a copyright disclaimer because I got a feeling I'm gonna play something and I'm probably gonna forget to read this. So, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism. That's what we about to do. Comment. Y'all already know y'all about to comment on it. News reporting. I guess this is what this is. Teaching. I'm assuming you hoes gonna learn something. Scholarship, bitch, we ain't got no money, and research, you can do that on your own time. So fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing, nonprofit, educational, or personal use. Tips the balance in favor of fair use. But I had to play that because I got a feeling I'm gonna mess around and play something, and next thing you know, they're gonna be on my behind. Dirt. Then he got this song stuck in my head. Yeah. All right, here we go. So let me just play this real quick. Yeah. This bit I just try to jump off.
This bitch had to do all that for a 19-second clip.
I'm not. I'm not. You don't fuck with clowns. But you know what? I got a shout out New Orleans.
Yeah. Now, hopefully, there was no echo because, girl, I don't just, girl, the way this should be working. Going on. All right, so that's what she had to say. All right, so Minaj spoke out in 2019 about the highly anticipated New Body collaboration with West, telling the Shade Room at the time that she and the Chicago-born rapper weren't seeing eye to eye on it. Minaj then admitted that there had been some tension between the two artists in their never-released song in a February interview. She claimed Ye and her rewrite her verse. Yeah, Ye had her rewrite her verse 4 times over in order to fit in where Kanye was creatively and spiritually, only to go on the internet a few months later to see West on Drink Champs. Girl, y'all pray for me because I keep losing my spot. All right, so let me go first because, girl, this is gonna be easy. Nicki Minaj, get it together. That's what I'm gonna say. Nicki Minaj, get it together. My thing with Nicki is that she like sometimes I be like, okay, I can get with her when she be saying stuff. I'm like, okay, I can get with you, but then it be the contradiction I can't deal with. I'll be like, okay, right message, wrong person, because with her whenever she gives messages out, it's a lot of dog whistles. And plus there's a lot of contradiction that she does. You say you don't mess with clowns. You did a song with 6ix9ine. Um, you say that it's about the culture and it's about rap. You did a song with Coi Leray. Um, you say you don't mess with clowns, but I guess you forgot your spouse and the person that you're actually married to. And these are the contradictions that I think of when Nicki Minaj begin to speak. Uh, what are your thoughts? Girl, I'm just leave that alone.
Well, I get a whole damn commentary on this. Spiritually speaking, it's interesting to see how powerful the ego is. Like clearly, um, it's Kanye's body of work, and he has the creative right to divorce her ass from his song if it just did not fit the vision. And the fact that Nicki Minaj is like rolling in the goddamn deep about it is fascinating because what it implies is that she actually believes that it says something about her because he cut her verse off of the album, and it doesn't. It doesn't say anything about her. It doesn't take anything away from her. She's already an icon and a legend and has already carved her own path out of this. She's already at the top of the mountain. She's already sitting amongst the elders. There is nothing else to prove at this point. So, not being on a Kanye track, even though he's a heavy hitter, he's well respected. It's like, yeah, but you're Nicki Minaj, and you also don't need a Kanye feature in order to be vindicated as Nicki Minaj. So if it worked out, it worked out. If it didn't, it didn't. It's not personal. And Kanye West is an actual artist. I mean, he's an actual visionary. So, and he is of no respect of persons. He's cut Soldier Boy from tracks, who was cussing his ass out on a Breakfast Club about cutting his verse. I can track. I mean, Kanye don't give a damn about who. If it just doesn't flow for him, if it doesn't fit for him, then it is what it is ultimately. And what happened recently, I'm not sure because that was a 2019 situation.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that people can make sense of now is that this must have something to do with his recent collaboration with Cardi B, which makes sense considering that the last time she saw Kanye, he didn't want to put her on a track, and now he 2 years later is on her arch nemesis single for her new album. So maybe it opened up some old wounds, but that's why you got to clear that shit up. So it ain't nothing to be opened up. And you are going to go somewhere interesting with this conversation too about how Nicki Minaj did not receive any backlash for getting her. I coined the term Monica Minaj. She was getting her Monique on during the Essence Festival, and there seemed to be a double standard because Monique got a lot of heat for talking her shit and taking the stage and saying what she needed to say, and Nicki Minaj did the same thing, and there's little backlash to her doing that.
And I'm glad you brought that up because, girl, let me just go to this first. I can't, and this is what I talk about when it comes down to her and the contradiction. You cannot get mad at Kanye for working with Cardi B and all the different types of things, but however, that's how you got in the game with Kim. You were working with all the people that Kim was considered friends, that she was cool with, that was in her used to be on her team, that used to style her, that used to like, come on, like this is the reason why I just can't, because it's the contradiction of I'm mad because Kanye did what this based on what we have now. Kanye did a collaboration with Cardi B, and on top of that, he didn't use my verse. But yet, when I got in the game, that's all I did was work with people that was with Little Kim. Now, let's also talk about when, because that was the thing too. When Nicki Minaj got on the set or whatever, first thing she said, she talked. I guess from what I'm understanding she got on late. That's what I was understanding based on what the audio and stuff I was hearing.
An hour late, honey. She was on her DL Hughley shit.
Okay, so she was an hour and something late, allegedly.
And allegedly, that's why her performance was cut, because Hulu had only paid for like 5 hours worth of stream time. And, you know, they had Janet Jackson performing. There was a lot of performers who took the set. So by the time Monica, you know, hit stage, Hulu, you know, hadn't paid for that time slot. So Miss Mama's performance got cut from the live stream.
Girl, and okay, so that's what I want to talk about, is that where is this outrage? And remember on the panel, Conscious, what I said people, entertainers, rappers, singers, they do this all the time, where if something happens behind the scenes, they come up there and say, yo, they fucking with my money, but I'm still coming out because of you guys. Then that's exactly what Nicki Minaj did on that stage, and she did not receive the same backlash or any backlash at all when it came down to her doing that particular thing like Monique did. And so this is what we be talking about when this bias, and y'all be biased and y'all be so hypocritical and y'all be having your own little outrage. Yeah, like y'all be very selective about when y'all want to have an outrage about something. Y'all want to be very selective about when something's very important to you guys and when someone should or should not do it. This is the shit that I be talking about. Y'all was quiet when she went up there and said they playing with my money, yada yada yada, but yet you dragged Monique for doing the exact same thing. But I digress. But I do want to look at this bad boy.
Oh, that's a great point.
Because like that's the first thing I looked at.
Before we go, but before you get to that, what do you believe the Kanye West drama is about? Do you believe that it's about new body still? Do you believe it's about him being on Cardi B's single? There was also rumors that him and her, she didn't appreciate his comments about Harriet Tubman because she went up for Harriet and he pretty much downplayed Harriet, even though she told Rosa Parks to get her ass up off the bus in the Heights. But
this once again, contradiction. I be trying to give her props. I really do. It's the contradiction. You cannot get mad at somebody for saying the whole thing about Harriet Tubman, but however, you said the same thing about Rosa Parks. Like, it does not make sense. That's like me talking about Martin Luther King and someone else talking about Malcolm X. Y'all both in the same boat. You cannot get mad. And this is the ish that I be talking, like, I really be trying to give her props. I really do, because I be trying not to come up as a Nicki hater, but and she makes it hard. She really does. I be like, girl, don't you remember when you just, okay, got you, girl. I can't do her. Now, if she on TV host or something, I can do her. But anything else, I can't do you, because there's a lot of contradiction. You get mad because he did a collaboration with Cardi B, but you forget that you collaborated with Diddy all throughout your career when it came down to Lil' Kim. You get mad about you saying that talking about all these mini-me's and all these rap girls and you mother and all these mini-me's and they should bow down to you, but yet you get mad when your impact and your influence is shown throughout the industry. You talk about these mini-me's and having all this impact, but yet when it comes down to it, there is no distinction between you and Lil' Kim's impact and influence. You talked about when it comes down to all this writing and it comes to being a writer, but yet when Remy Ma called your ass to the stand, writing did not enter the conversation. All that entered the conversation was racks and plaques. You talked about how in your interview with Joe Budden, I'll be trying not to do this. When it comes down to your interview at Joe Budden, you talked about it's for the culture, but yet you did a song with Coyle Ray, that's not a lyricist. You did a song with 6ix9ine, he is not respected in the industry. And on top of that, you co-sign a lot of people that do a lot of anti-black stuff. You talked about you're very selective about when you want to use the race card, because at the end of the day, you was also the same individual that said black girl tragedy that had, I think it talked about domestic abuse. I believe that's what that hashtag was talking about. Like, you the same woman that do this stuff. So I'll be like, girl, I can't take her. I can't.
So what do you think is at the basis of her comments about, well, I mean, because I don't like, why are we not entertaining that? Well, I mean, could the comments and the shade have been thrown toward Jay-Z?
I don't even know at this point. I don't fucking know. I do not know. I think the thing is that Nicki Minaj is starting to realize, or if not needs to realize, is that the same. And I've been saying this for the longest. I don't know why it takes people so long to even fucking realize this shit. Now, keep in mind, I was young as hell realizing this. The same people you meet going up are the same people you're gonna meet going down. Like, yes, at one point in time, people were scared of Nicki Minaj. She was at the top. She was the best. She was the one doing it. She was the one that called the shots. But now that you have more female rappers in the game, people have alternative actions, alternative motives, alternative people to go to. Like they so at the end of the day,
he's not the only gatekeeper now.
Yes. With that being said, back in the day, she'd be like, I don't want this person on. If not, I'm gonna leave. And you know she brought the money in, so at the end of the day, you had to accommodate her. But at the end of the day, when you have City Girls, when you have Megan, when you have Doja, when you have Cardi, Sweetie,
Lotto,
Flo Milli, Cupcake, you have other people now in the industry, in the game, that can be like, you know what, even if, let's just go with this thought, because I know people, they don't make as much money. Even if they don't bring in as much money, you know they're gonna bring in something, at least that it weighs out the options of, you know what, I may not get this much money, but however, is this much less of a headache? We'll go with Cardi. We'll go with Lotto. We'll go with this particular person because, bitch, we don't have time to deal with you today. So, be honest with you, I don't know what their issue is. I really don't know, because she really does confuse me a lot of times. I really don't know. Like, she says stuff and I'd be like, girl, you just must have forgot what you said 2.5 minutes ago. And plus another thing too is that she's very strategic. She's very, very strategic. As in when girl, I know I sound like a Nicki hater, girl. I know I sound like one. But she's very strategic. I remember when she was like, oh, I'm gonna retire from music. She never retired from music. If you keep in mind, at the time when all of that, when she said that, that was when her husband was caught on live with a weapon, and I believe he's a felon, so he could have gotten really big trouble. And she said that, and it completely overshadowed that whole video. She's very strategic. That's why a lot of times I don't take what she say for face value, because with her, you have to keep in mind her motives. But girl, let me get to these. Anyway, let me go into these comment sections, because these comment sections, I like doing this because it's very interesting. We're gonna see what the people are saying. So this talks about Nicki Minaj sounds of it at Essence Fest about why her performance was delayed. Played with my check. Now let me do this one more time, because girl, I like doing this. So let me do this. Girl. I got so many tabs open, it don't make no damn sense. We're gonna do this again. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism. That's what we're here to do. Comment. Y'all hoes go down in the comment section. Y'all comment. News report. I guess that's what we're supposed to do. Teaching. Hopefully you hoes learn something. Scholarship. Bitch, we ain't got no money. And research. Y'all can do that on your own time. So fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Girl. Baby girl, what's your name? Alrighty, girl. Baby. Okay, so let's go back to this comment section. Let's see what the people are talking. And we're gonna give a few of our thoughts, then we're gonna move on to the next thing because girl, these people have been just a tad bit delusional. Okay, it says one person says they always trying to sabotage her, then wonder why she doesn't attend their festivals and award show. Stop playing with her. Oh, I think it's a clip here too. Oh, that's why I read it. Let's see. Okay, let me see.
You just fucked up my clothes tonight. You just came with my check tonight. That's okay, Mom. From you. And I will never fucking stop loving you. And I will never stop being appreciative of you. That's all I'm stop. I am no longer trying to survive. I believe that you might be improved. But to live doesn't mean you're alive.
Okay, girl, we ain't got time for that. All right, so it says okay. So one person says Hulu was gagged when she didn't accept the pickle juice. Okay. Put it on everything. I will retire with the crown. It's okay, girl. I want to know why is it always Nicki? Clothes should have been handled weeks ago. Streaming deal months ago. How are people still playing with Nicki's money when she's a vet in the game? This isn't 2010. Someone else wrote, one big thing is stop playing with people money, and that's on general, no matter the industry, period. Additionally, Nicki can slay on the stage. That's not what people were saying. So go show up and show out for her fans. From a management perspective, I'm trying to understand why all this wasn't worked out before she even got there. Because contracts are not normally finalized before a performer is supposed to go on. Nobody puts Nicki in a corner. That's effed up because Nicki deserves her coins. That's bad energy. She stayed putting out right back like the girl. Okay, what are your thoughts? Because girl, this shit here is fucking ridiculous.
I wonder why nobody else complained for the night. Janet Jackson was the best performer there tonight. Showed the girls how it was done, slung her weave around, had her veneers in, and Miss Monica was the only one disgruntled, baby. She came with a whole lot of chips on her shoulder, baby, playing with her check. Kanye playing with her motherfucking verse. These goddamn labels is creating mini-me's to her. I mean, Miss Monica was she was on one, honey. I'm not sure if this was about Essence at all, baby. It just sounded like Monica just woke up with violence in her on that day.
You know, okay, someone else wrote, so glad she advocated for herself. Nicki got a huge fan base of millions, and Hulu tried to tap into that without running a check. Stop taking advantage of black artists. Here's the thing. All these statements and criticisms and perspectives, opinions, these were not the things that were said when Monique hit the stage. I'm not understanding. Why do you think that is, Conscious?
Because of something called pretty privilege. Monique is a fat black woman who doesn't fit the conventional beauty standards of the day, and therefore she's looked at as someone who shouldn't even be in the position that she in. So God forbid she is. She needs to be grateful and just take her crumbs, take her gatherings, honey, and be humble. But because Monica fits a lot of the beauty standards of the black community, small waist, big ass, big titties, conventional beauty, she gets to get away with raising hell. And she gets to be supported and advocating for herself. It's the respectability politics. It's the pretty privilege of it all.
Girl, I just can't. Now the reason why I just can't is because this is the BS I be talking about. Y'all, once again, y'all be selective about when y'all want to have an outrage. But it's all right, because the next time that shit happens, as the next time Monique ends up in the blocks, I'm gonna tell y'all ass up. because y'all didn't say nothing when Erica Mena did exposing. Because y'all didn't say nothing when Erica Mena was on her high horse. Y'all didn't say nothing when Nicki Minaj was on her high horse and she was on her soapbox. So I'm gonna tell y'all ass up. So just so you know, if y'all go to Conscious panel and Monique is in the blogs and y'all talk about how she did something, just know I'm putting those two individuals out. Just
we're gonna be doing this panel today, honey. The title of the video is gonna be "What's the difference between Nicki Minaj and Monique?"
Girl, ooh. We should do that. Oh, we should do that tomorrow. Girl.
That's what I'm saying.
Girl,
well, technically tomorrow is today is Wednesday, but yes.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to know what was the money conflict about, because Janet Jackson been in the game and in the industry longer than Monica, and if there had been any contractual issues, we saw the way that Janet Jackson handled it, which was with the utmost profession. We don't even know if there was or was not, because Janet just got out there and did her job, and if there was an issue, she clearly allowed that to be something that was taken care of on the back end. We don't hear Janet Jackson calling out Hulu or Essence, etc., for playing with her check. So I'm curious to know why Monica Minaj had an issue and Janet Jackson did not, along with any of the other artists who performed tonight.
Which I think is very interesting.
To attract conflict.
It's very interesting because another part to that is how when Monique had her issue of contracts and stuff, they always blamed it on Monique. Oh, it was the husband, it was this. But yet when it comes down to Nicki Minaj, it's Hulu. It's not Nicki's team. It's not the people that Nicki working with. It's Hulu. It's Hulu. It's put off on the other party. But when it came down to Monique, it was her party.
And it's funny that all this that they accuse Monique of is actually can be said to be true about Miss Monica Minaj, who only advocates for herself. That's all she ever does. There's actually times and events and circumstances and situations in which Monique is actually advocating for other people, putting her reputation on the line by standing on principle and jumping into other people's shit. But Monica only whines and complains when she's the one affected.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, at least I've seen. I'm gonna put it that way. If that I've seen. All right, so we're gonna get into this next in this final story. We're gonna talk about
hold on. I'm sorry. It just one more thing. I think not only did she get her Monica on at the Essence, there was another notable historical moment where she got her Monica on, and it was the "What's Good, Miley."
Yeah.
No back. Where is all this energy that folk got for Monique? For Monica Minaj. Onika interrupted a whole video music award ceremony to check a 76-pound mayonnaise woman about some tweets about an online exchange.
Miley's black. If you let her tell it.
What? Her fingernail polish? Her mascara? Must be.
I said if you let her tell it, she black.
No, if you let her tell it, she was back in 2017, 20.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. But that's a good point, because I most definitely forgot about that, because girl, it's a lot of stuff.
Because pretty privilege would have you forget, because it doesn't even come off that way when you have pretty privilege.
Girl, I don't know. And plus, on top of that, let's also keep in mind what she was saying on Queen's Radio when she was going off. Let's not forget about that. But, I digress. We're going to save that for the panel later on today, because I'm most definitely going to be tearing all the asses up when they bring their ass over there. All right, so let's talk about Miss Macy Gray. Miss Macy Gray. This article is by Blacktivity News. Macy Gray decided to spew transphobia. And I quote, "Just because you can change your body parts doesn't make you a woman. Girl, you already know how this gonna go. Let me go all the way down. Girl. Ooh. Man, what is okay, here we go. Damn, there we go. Go back home. That's what I thought. So it says singer Macy Gray made some controversial remarks on Piers Morgan Uncensored regarding the trans community, according to the Independent. Let's get into this article. All right. In an interview with Piers Morgan on July 4th, Gray elaborated on the idea she expounds. And I quote, "I will say this, and everyone's going to hate me, but as a woman, just because you go change your body parts doesn't make you a woman. Sorry." The 54-year-old singer said, according to the Independent, she expounded on her position, saying she supports trans rights for fairness and equality, but draws the line at trans women competing against cis women in sports because of their superior physical bodies, according to Entertainment Weekly. Gray said her views are rooted in her experience from being a little girl and growing into a woman. She added that achieving womanhood is a journey that shouldn't be lived that should be lived from beginning to of one's life. Surgery or finding one yourself doesn't change that. Being a little girl is a whole epic book, and you can't have that just because you want to be a woman, she told Morgan, adding that she doesn't think you should be labeled transphobic just because you don't agree. They go that buzzword. And I quote, if you want me to call you her, I will, because that's what you want. But it doesn't make you a woman just because I call you a her and just because you got surgery, she said. So it says critics, including the music festival Mighty Hoopla, where the I Try singer performed in June, condemned her statements about the trans community. And I quote, "We are extremely disappointed by the comments made by Macy Gray on Piers Morgan Uncensored Talk TV. The festival wrote in an official statement, according to MSN, as an artist at our 2022 event, we would like to make it clear that we do not agree with the insensitive and transphobic statement she made. Mighty Hoopla said that trans people are their bodies are not up for debate, and cis TV personalities, oh come on cis, TV personalities and the channels that hire them need to stop discussing them on air." They concluded their message of solidarity, adding that Mighty Hoopla will always stand with our trans family. Now it says, Morgan also defended the singer on social media. And I quote, "If there's one thing worse than the vicious trans activist mob coming for women who defend women, it's virtue signaling men like this fueling to pile on. Repulsive," he said, attacking a post made by Hacks and Post actor John Sibley, who said Gray's words were transphobic. Girl, I know I probably just butchered the hell out of that. All right, this is the particular tweet. You know the thing I find very interesting. Actually, before we get into that, you have any thoughts on this? Before I get, I'm gonna have to do this in segments.
No.
Okay, good, because I want to get into Piers Morgan, but I'm gonna continue for a second. Now, it says Harry author J.K. Rowling, who has publicly aired her views on trans people, gave Grace kudos for standing up for her beliefs. J.K. Rowling, "Today feels like a good day to ensure I brought Macy Gray's life's entire back catalog." And now this is the particular thing right here. Now, Indy Wilblad, okay, India, I'm going to put her name right there. She put a tweet. She said, "As for Macy, how to kill what's left of your career." And Macy Gray replied and said, "Truth hurts." Girl, this is not helping you, girl. This is not freaking helping you. And I would play that, but however, I'm not going to do that because, girl, the copyright be so serious. Now, let me just get into Mr. Piers Morgan. Let me say this. Women of all kinds, y'all need to start being careful about the men that have your back. Reason being is because Piers Morgan in that particular statement, he was so ready to have her back. But let me pull this up. He was so ready to have her back. But the thing I find very interesting is that he was the main one on Twitter, if I can find it. He was the main one on Twitter, basically putting up a post asking if women's rights of the month, I guess, celebrating women, if that month was up yet. So I'm just think it's very interesting how you're very selective about when you want to protect and be in support of women and when you just want them to just shut the fuck up and get along with the get along. I'm gonna be honest with you, when it comes down to the whole conversation about trans people in sports and all the different types of other things, they're very selective about when they want to talk about trans people being in sports. Because the thing about it, like Conscious said on different panels, is that when the biological people win, they have no issue. They see no problem with it. But when they lose, it's it's unfair and all the different types of things. And they need to have their own, and they should not be in the same league as us, and all the different types of things. And it's when it comes down to women, that's when that argument comes into play. But yet when it comes down to men, we never hear that, because typically biological men hurt trans men in sports when they compete. So that they kind of missed me with that BS. You have any thoughts? Let me see. Can I find this real quick?
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about this as well with the trans woman at noon today.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's just interesting how uneducated so many cis people are on gender and sex and sexuality. It's really just given a lack of education. She actually confused sex for gender, saying that gender is a fact when gender is a social construct.
She's not the only one.
Sex is science. And I also love how cis people get to determine what's homophobic and transphobic and what's not. Like, oh, I can say all this and say, I'm not transphobic. Like, you don't get to determine if what you say is transphobic or not. And I just don't understand why we as a people are buying into male and female identities based upon like a Eurocentric construct and a Eurocentric ideology. It is not true to melanated people's perspective on either of these issues. Yeah.
I'm so tired of these motherfucking hoes. Like, it irks my soul. And actually, you
always want to have these damn conversations at 4:30 in the fucking morning when I'm like, don't got no gas.
Don't worry, because I know with me, I'm probably never gonna get to it if I don't do it when I need to do it. But I also want to bring after these. So after this particular comment and stuff was made, and then Piers Morgan brought his yellow ass up there trying to protect Macy Gray while people trying to windmill on her ass. Flame Monroe
allegedly is a transphobe too, according to what.
He is. He's not alleged. He is. I've seen his tweets and stuff. But I was gonna say, Miss Flame Monroe, brother, because this the bitch I really want. Miss Flame Monroe and brought her motherfucking ass up into the goddamn conversation. Once again, no one's speaking to her, and she brought her ass up in the conversation. So with that being said, let's hear from Miss Flame Monroe. Girl, she irks my soul. She irks my fucking soul, girl. Oh, she get on my damn nerve, bitch. Okay, here's my thing with Miss Flame Monroe. While I put this up, my issue with Miss Flame Monroe is that she makes it her business to chime in into conversations like this, but yet when people are sitting up there tugging at her goddamn, is tugging on her titties because she done stepped out of line and said some dumbass shit because she's like she says she's not educated on these things. First thing that she says, I'm not an advocate. I'm not a voice for the community. Then my question is, why the hell do you keep opening your mouth to be the voice for for a community that you said that you are not equipped to talk about or defend or even have a conversation for in these type of conversations?
Good evening, everyone.
Oh.
Good evening, everyone. My name is comedian Flame Monroe. I am a transgender woman or person, however you describe it, and this message is directly for Macy Gray. Macy Gray, I want to tell you out the words of my mouth from my portion of the LGBTQIA plus community that I wholeheartedly support you.
Bitch, I bet you would.
And thank you for seeing the real world for what it is. I do not believe that you are transphobic or homophobic or any other kind of phobic. I believe that you know science and biology, because here are the three things. Gender is a fact, identity is how you feel, and sexuality is your desire. And you are absolutely right, because until you have the heart and mind of a woman, I don't believe that you could ever possibly be a biological woman. Trans women are trans women. Trans men are trans men. Women are women and men are men. It is as simple as that. There shouldn't be any argument about this, because here. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, since we got that out the fucking way, let me say this. Here's my thing. Miss Flame Monroe, let me just get into you, little bitch. I want to make sure I get down. Miss Flame Monroe, it's very interesting how a lot of times you like to insert yourself inside conversations that you most definitely make it clear that you're not equipped or you don't have the knowledge to be able to speak for on the behalf of yourself or other people. But also in that, I think it's very interesting that since you have titties on your chest and you go by all different types of pronouns, how a lot of times you like to step in and actually try to perpetuate transphobia just because you have a little bit of power, privilege, or whatever. Here's my thing with pick-me's. My thing is once they get done with other trans people, what do you think is going to happen to you? Like, what do you think is going to happen to you? What do you see in the future? Because even in conversations where you and Hope Giselle got into it on live, one of the things that you've made it very clear, and you showed your true, you just about showed your true colors. Well, you've been doing that. You just about said that, I know what I'm doing. They think that they're manipulating me, but they're really not. So that right there lets me know that you know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you're saying, and you most definitely are contributing and very much being aware that you are a pick-me-ass bitch. Let me do this real quick. Let's go to the bit of the comment section. Now, one person wrote, the way majority of blacks see Candace Owens is the same way the black gays see Flame. And I don't see no lie. Sexuality is a fucking desire. That's all embedded in DNA. Sis put some glasses and thought she sounded smart. Girl, she always got them stink ass glasses. Rick Starr, well, pick me. I 100% agree. The bitch is a pick me. The bitch pick me, pick cotton, pick titties, all different types of things. This is the shit I be fucking talking about. Rodney the Voice, that's my bitch. Flame is the black Caitlyn Jenner. I see no lies. Here we go. And that's another thing. This is where I have issues, because who the fuck ever said that trans women are biological women, are biologically female? Whoever said that? That was not the conversation that was being held. What was said is that trans women are women, not female.
That's how you know that Flame Monroe is an agent of chaos, because she literally gaslit the dominant class by inserting a sentiment that wasn't, like you said, even the basis of the conversation. Like, obviously trans women wouldn't even be going by the term trans women if they were identifying as biological women. The fact that Flame Monroe just inserted biological is fascinating to me. And the fact that also Macy Gray did it was also just why they're both wildly misinformed. Terribly misinformed. But I don't expect anything less from Flame because a bitch who identifies as it has definitely left the chat.
Yeah.
So to your point, why is it even here?
Always try to insert yourself in conversations you are not equipped to have, and you sit up there and you put your foot in your mouth and you looking fucking ass. Like, I don't be understanding.
Identify as trans when it's harmful to trans. Only one identify as drag, like
overseer.
She literally identified as a female impersonator and didn't even use the term trans.
And it talked and then set up here, it talked about how gender is a fact. Oh, this bitch is stupid. Hope Giselle, please get your girl. Please just gather her once again. Please, Hope. Do it for us. I love you so much. Do it for us. This bitch. Then my question is this. If that's the case, if you had that idea, Flame, then what was your goal when you transitioned? If in your head that you was just gonna be a man regardless of what your aesthetic was going to be, those are your words, that's your ideology. I'm not saying that you are. What was your goal of getting titties and what was your goal of actually transitioning? If that's the case. If no matter what I do, in the words and the ideas of Flame Monroe, no matter what I did, I'm still gonna be a man. Why did I decide to get titties? Says that you don't care about pronouns, but yet you hold on to pronouns as in he, she, it don't matter. And you know, the very interesting thing I find that's very it's very funny to me. A lot of times when you start to go back in time, I guess talk to some of the older queer people that's from a particular era. They always Big Frida. I don't care about these pronouns. I am just be you. But yet you get mad when people don't identify you by your pronouns. So which one is it? Do we care or do we not care? I don't get it. Jada
So
Black Beauty
inserting herself into conversations that are for those who do care. Like if you don't care, then you have then this is not even about you. Then you could care less. It's not even about you. You are in a space that's removed from any of the topic and subject at all. Yeah, like
I think Candace Owens and Flame Monroe for me are on the same boat. Dear Candace Owens and dear Flame Monroe, shut the fuck up, please. You're not equipped to have these conversations. I know on the surface for both of you hoes, you sound very smart. But when you add and apply critical thinking and a lot of decolonization, it doesn't make any sense. No one was talking about, the conversation never was around whether or not trans women identify and are biological women or female. That was not the conversation at hand. Bitch, you were supposed to come here and take the fucking SAT, but however you studied for the ACT. It didn't make any sense, bitches. But let's continue. Jada said, honestly speaking, being trans is being trans. Nobody wants to wake up and be a biological woman. It's impossible. Now, the way we choose to live is the way we choose to live. And if you really want to be honest, Flame is the perfect example of foolishness. Amen. You're not a trans woman going by masculine pronouns. Trans people may be But at the end of the day, you can't speak for none of us, and that's the problem. It's not like you really care. You're only doing it. And oh, here we go. Here we go. And this is another thing. For our black queer men, women, lesbians, gay men, bisexuals, pansexuals, it's really the self-hate for me, because the thing is, this next person said, it's not like she's lying and you are a gay male. The issue that I have with that,
what Hope Giselle meant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you are a gay male, and the issue that I have with that is that this also goes to another reason why, when it comes down to the exposing of trade and that exposing thing, when it comes down to DL men and DL women or whatever, I'm kind of 50-50 with it. Let me explain. 50-50 meaning I'm not gonna do it, but I'm not gonna get mad at a bitch if she do it. Because the thing about it is this: it's moments like this when it's like, it's not like she's lying that this person wrote. It's moments like this, I feel like a lot of times we're so easy to throw away our trans brothers and sisters, but we're so quick to defend DL men and women. And so that's where I am. Like, so when it comes down to it, a lot of queer men, and especially queer women, y'all got to stop with the self-hate, because you sitting up here trying to windmill for the dominant society, in the words of Conscious TV, but not knowing they'll be the first ones to put your ass on a chopping block and call you the F word, even though you call this other trans person the T word. They'll call you the F word and ship your ass off to Alcatraz. Please stop with the self-hate. I just can't do it. You have any thoughts?
Nope, you said it all.
Just thank you. Facts are facts. Girl, suck my ass. It keeps getting worse, child. Like, of course, Flame go agree with the turf. Very, very on brand. Girl, come on with it. The truth is the truth. And the thing about this is a gay magazine. So 9 times out of 10, me just talking. 9 times out of 10, these are going to be either queer people or allies. Girl, we have to do better. We got to do better. We have to fucking do better. Hey, I even see you. What's going on?
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning. But yeah, we got to do better. Miss Flame Monroe, my final regards and my final statements to you was, please shut the hell up. That was not the conversation that was being had. You always seem to come in, chime in on conversations that have nothing to do with you. You need to shut your mouth. You exposed your intellect when you most definitely said gender is a fact. And also I think it's very interesting how melanated people love to hold on to science, love to talk about science this, biology this, all the different types of things this. But yet we believe in the Bible and all the metaphysical things that happen within the Bible that completely gets rid of science. So you believe a man died and came back in 3 days. You believe somebody split and parted the Red Sea and walked on top of water. Please, y'all save it. I understand everybody got their own belief systems, but however, at least be consistent with what you're talking about. So that's really all I have to say. I don't make this too long. And plus, on top of it, it's late as fuck. So with that being said, you have any more thoughts, concerns, anything like that?
Nope.
Girl. All right. So with that being said, that is it for today, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of like low on energy because it is late. But with that being said, we're gonna see you guys tomorrow. Well, today at 12. Well, is that 12?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna see y'all at 12. I will be on that panel. And also with that being said,
I was laughing.
Oh, because girl, we're gonna be tired as hell. But also with that being said, thank you guys for coming in, staying up with us. Please make sure you guys pop that like button and hit the subscribe button. And please smash the notification bell so do not miss any more posts from us. And with that being said, I will see you guys later. Deuces.